Craig Ferguson wasn't your average late-night host. His charm was magnetic, his wit unmatched, and his flirtatious banter, well, let's just say it kept fans and guests on their toes. But was it all just innocent fun, or did things heat up behind the scenes after the camera stopped rolling? Over the years, rumors have swirled, linking Ferguson to some high-profile names. Could it be true? Stick around, and you'll find out who. Craig's infamous charm, more than just talk. Craig Ferguson wasn't above flirting, indeed. His late-night interviews often crossed the line between talk show repartee and outright seduction. Whether through a saucy grin, a quick-witted comeback, or an unusually daring innuendo, Ferguson knew exactly how to make a guest, and the audience feel as though he was letting them in on some kind of inside joke. But was there more to his charm than mere words? Just think about his playful interactions with Mila Kunis. The chemistry wasn't just palpable, it was electric. Craig's banter with Mila kept audiences abuzz, sharing in giggles and playful teasing and moments of everyone going, "Is something happening here?" Craig could get away with the late-night discussions, throwing in just enough eyebrow-raising comments to keep things spicy while keeping a hint of mystery. But that's the thing about Craig, he never let the mystery completely fold. He kept people guessing, and we're still guessing today, aren't we? Take another look at his iconic interview with Kristen Bell. Craig's flirtatious energy was on full display, and Kristen didn't shy away either. The two shared a chemistry that sparked rumors for years, with fans wondering if their connection was more than just a TV moment. But Craig knew exactly how to toe the line. He'd reel you in just enough to make you curious, but never quite give away the whole story. His charm was like a slow burn, and it had fans wondering, are these interviews really all in good fun, or is something deeper brewing beneath the surface? And what about the time he had Sofia Vergara on his show? Now, if you watched that episode, you probably remember how Craig could barely keep it together. Their flirtation was almost too much to handle. But again, that's where the magic of Ferguson's charm came in. He always left us hanging. He would push just far enough to make you think something might happen, but as always, the truth remained hidden behind that sly smile. For Craig, the interaction with his guests wasn't an interview. It was a performance. Every conversation was a dance, artfully laced with humor, charm, and just that right amount of flirtation to keep the people talking. And here is the kicker. Craig was in control the whole time. He knew precisely what he was doing, keeping both his guests and the audience in a very attentive mood, while never fully showing his hand. That's what makes him one of the most interesting late-night hosts to ever exist. But were these flirtatious moments all for show and showmanship, or was something brewing beneath the surface that we never got to see? Well, things are about to get even juicier. You won't believe some of the stories we've uncovered about what might have happened once those cameras stopped rolling. Keep watching because the next names on this list just might shock you. Reality versus what fans think. The charm of Craig Ferguson isn't just mere talk, it was the real deal, and the audience could hear it. Since the moment he hit the late-night scene, there was a difference in how he interacted with his guests. It didn't take long for the rumors to build, especially since some of Hollywood's most glamorous stars seemed to fall effortlessly into his flirtatious rhythm. One name that immediately pops into one's head? Mila Kunis. Oh yes, their infamous interviews to this day are still the talk of the town. It isn't as if fans could avoid the gleam in Craig's eyes whenever Mila was on his stage. The back and forth between them was the very definition of playful banter, yet with just enough teasing that viewers had to wonder if something was going on behind the camera. But here's the kicker. Kunis wasn't just another guest. There was just something so undeniably magnetic about their chemistry that left fans of the show asking that age-old question, what happened afterward? Craig, ever the master of mystery, never let on, but the rumors practically wrote themselves. Then there was Kristen Bell, another frequent guest whose lively personality seemed to bring out an even cheekier side of Craig. Remember that time they debated the finer points of Scottish accents? It was a language lesson, but it was a verbal dance that audiences were glued to. Kristen's playful nature, of course, only fed the rumor mill as fans mused whether her witty repartee with Craig was all in good fun or a smokescreen for something more. But as in the case with Mila, the truth remained just out of reach. Was it all for show, or was there something more happening behind the scenes? Craig once again left us wondering. And who could forget comedic Queen Betty White? Not even she was an exception to Craig's flirting. These interviews have been hilarious, with oodles of quick-witted comments, banter-filled jokes leaving viewers in stitches. But beneath the humor, there was always a subtle undertone of, could something be happening here? Of course, the comedic genius that was Betty played along, but rumors persisted. Craig was so charming and so real with her that fans almost had to assume even the legendary Betty White wasn't impervious to his late-night charms. But the kicker is this. As the rumor mill went into overdrive, it was Craig who remained an enigma. There was never denial of a flirtation style, but he never crossed the line, at least, not publicly. It was only ever enough to keep the people talking, to make them wonder if maybe there was more to these relationships than meets the eye. And isn't that just what Craig wanted? To keep us hooked, guessing, and completely captivated. But as the years went by, the rumor mill continued to churn. Each new A-list guest who sat down opposite him spawned the same question. Would this be it? But Craig kept the door open just a crack, never quite saying yes with his usual gamesmanship, and never wide enough to let us see what was behind it either. And now, as we delve deeper into the world of Craig Ferguson's late-night escapades, it's time to unravel more of these stories. While some of these early guests had a lot of speculation going on, some real bombshells are coming. What happened when the cameras stopped rolling? Stick around, because the names you're going to hear will blow everything you thought you knew about Craig's late-night charm. The ones that got away, or did they? Just when you thought the rumor mill couldn't crank any faster, Craig Ferguson had a way of turning it up a notch. With every new guest, there was always that salient question hanging in the air, did something happen here? But amidst the speculation that spread, a few celebrities did surprisingly appear to evade the deeper rumors. Or did they? So, let me start with Sofia Vergara. This ravishingly beautiful Colombian actress often graced Craig's show, and each time she did, the steam between them was just unstoppable. Craig never stopped flirting with her, but Sofia only ever responded with an equal amount of sass. It was that kind of interaction that people stopped to notice. Many others had convinced themselves there must be more happening. Yet, herein lies the kicker. Despite palpable tension, Sofia was one of the few who seemed to get by more serious speculation. Sure, their interactions were playful, and sure, there was a lot of heat, but did it ever cross the line into something more? According to the rumor mill, perhaps not. Like all things Ferguson, truth remains shrouded in mystery. Where is Amy Adams? The Oscar-nominated actress had her flirtation moments with Craig, but was just always a little dot off. There was the banter, sharp and quick-witted, but it just never quite made it to that level of intrigue, as it has with some of his other guests. Craig almost seemed respectful. But let that not be a fool's errand, for there was enough available chemistry to keep the rumor mill going strong. Fans were left in the dark to wonder if Amy was simply one of those ones that got away. Did Craig's flirtation with her ever go beyond the studio walls? Or was it all a part of the late-night show's magic? There is Eva Mendes. When Eva came onto the show, the flirting was about as subtle as a sledgehammer. Craig would get this sparkle in his eye, and the conversation would invariably go cheeky. Eva, like Amy and Sofia before her, managed to slip past the deeper rumors. Was this the way Craig kept things professional, or were these stars simply playing the game a little better than the rest? Whatever it was palpable, and yet the rumors never quite materialized into anything more than just rumors. Isn't it ironic? Some of the biggest names to sit across from Craig, the ones seemingly destined to spark the wildest rumors, ended up being the very ones who dodged them. But that's the genius of Ferguson's flirtatious charm. He had a way of making every guest feel like they were the only one in the room, while still keeping enough distance to make sure the mystery remained intact. But don't get too comfortable just yet, because though these stars may have dodged the deeper rumors, there are those who weren't quite so lucky. Stay tuned, because the next few stories might just blow the lid off everything you thought you knew about Craig Ferguson and his late-night escapades. The truth, as they say, is often stranger than fiction, and we're just getting started. The confirmed encounters, what we know so far. We have danced around the flirtings, made speculations on the tension, but now we go into the juicy details. Out of all of Craig Ferguson's many late-night guests, who actually crossed the line? A question which his fans have had hanging in suspense for many years. While Ferguson himself has never been too forthright with his personal life, there have been whispers, murmurs, and moments that make you raise an eyebrow. Is it true? Could some of those charming post-show smiles and lingering hugs have led to a little something more? One of the names which has been in the rumor mill for quite some time is that of Ariel Kebbel. The actress has been on Ferguson's show multiple times, and each time she was, the chemistry just wasn't deniable. The flirting was not subtle, it was at the fore. From playful banter with cheeky comments and that unmistakable glint in Craig's eye, it felt like more than just magic from the talk show. The fans started speculating, yes, something must have been going on behind the curtains. Ariel's giggles, Ferguson's quick-witted remarks, all pointed toward one thing. Yet again, we had more questions than answers. Was this just Craig working his old charm? Or was there something more to the story? Following that would be the rumors of Megan Fox. Yes, that Megan Fox. The sultry actress graced Craig's show and really lit the internet up in speculation. The sparks flew from the moment she walked on stage. Their flirtatious banter was electric. At one point, Craig even proposing to her in jest. But beneath all the laughs, there was this certain chemistry that had raised more than a few eyebrows of fans. Was it possible that their connection carried over when the cameras stopped rolling? Ferguson, of course, kept it professional, or so it would seem. But the rumors? Oh, they told an entirely different story altogether. And then, of course, there is Katharine McPhee. You know, the sweet singer and actress who had gone through his show several times? The teasing was always playful between them, and the connection between them was undeniable. But it wasn't merely the fans who noticed. According to sources, the two might have spent time with each other off-set, spawning further rumors into what actually went down. Were they just friends, or was something else brewing? Katharine's coy smiles and Craig's flirtatious quips certainly did little to quiet the rumors, but as always, the truth eludes capture. For all that speculation, however, Ferguson himself has never confirmed any of those encounters. He remains a closed book, leaving fans to piece together the puzzle based on the hints he has given them through interviews. But just when you think you have it all figured out, some other name pops up, some other interview goes viral, and there we go wondering again, is there more behind Craig's late-night charm than meets the eye? Well, what do we really know? Not much. While the confirmed encounters remain unconfirmed by Ferguson himself, the rumors are stronger than ever. But don't you worry, we're just getting started. Stick around because the next section holds the real bombshells. The truth, at least what we have so far pieced together, is about to get a whole lot more shocking. The bombshells you didn't expect. And now things are about to get really interesting. We've heard the rumors, we've seen the playful exchanges. But what if I told you there are even bigger secrets hiding in plain sight? That's right. While many of Ferguson's flirtations may have seemed harmless on the surface, insiders hint some of these late-night interactions turned into real-life connections. And the names tied to these bombshells? Well, they might just leave you speechless. Well, it all starts with Drew Barrymore. Yes, you heard that right. The charming actress, whose energy and charm are infectious, was a regular guest on Ferguson's show. Their chemistry could not have been more evident from the very first instance. Craig often was swooning over her about the most charming way possible, but according to some sources, their connection may have traversed far beyond the cameras. Well, word has it that Drew and Craig shared more than a few laughs on set. As a matter of fact, several insiders claim the two were even spotted getting cozy at a private event after one of her appearances. Of course, neither Drew nor Craig has ever confirmed this, but the whispers have hung around for years. Next up, Paris Hilton. Now, Paris is no stranger to the spotlight or scandal. So when she first appeared on Craig's show, fans were instantly intrigued. Their conversation was light, fun, and full of the usual Ferguson flirtation. But behind the scenes, word has it, their interaction didn't stop when the cameras cut to commercial. Insiders have claimed that Paris and Craig shared a few private moments after the show, leading to speculation that their connection was more than just for TV. While these claims have never been substantiated, the rumors alone were enough to keep fans buzzing for years. And the wildest name on this list, perhaps? Olivia Wilde. The actress, from indie films to blockbuster movie franchises, appeared on Craig's show multiple times. The chemistry was undeniable, with Olivia at one point even playfully roasting Craig in the way only a real friend or someone more could. But if insiders are to be believed, their playful jabs might have masked a deeper connection. In fact, rumors even showed Olivia and Craig spotted together at an after-party following one of her interviews, which raised speculation that their relationship was more than the talk show stage. Again, neither party has ever confirmed these rumors, but evidence or lack thereof has left fans in speculation about what really happened between them. But the real kicker? For every rumor whispered, a dozen more we'll never know. Craig's charm was keeping us all guessing, and about those late-night relations, well, it seems he's done just that. But as these bombshells come to light, one thing is for sure. Craig Ferguson's flirtatious persona wasn't all for show. It gets even better, and we barely scratched the surface. Keep watching for the last section, promising more shocking truths to come to light. What Craig says about it all. So now what does Craig Ferguson himself say to the swirl of gossip that has followed him for years after all the rumors, flirtations, and speculation? Well, you might expect that Craig, ever quick with his charming, self-deprecating wit, has largely sidestepped direct questions. He usually sends the stories away with a smile, often making light of the situation, and therefore leaving the fans even more intrigued. But the truth? Well, that seems sealed away in his personal vault. Craig has been candid about the flirtation on The Late Late Show, offering interviews to say that it had all been part of the show's fun. He has hastened to remind that late-night television is entertainment, a place where the demarcations between reality and performance blur. But here's where things get interesting. Though he's laughed most rumors off, he's never really squashed them. Could it be because there's a bit of truth in there somewhere? Or perhaps Craig simply pulls his ultimate game of mystery with his audience, guessing, oh, isn't that what makes the intrigue even stronger? One of the most famous one-liners about the whole situation was when he exclaimed, "I'm a talk show host, not a reality star." That's Craig in a nutshell, always dodging the heavy questions with humor. He often speaks of his on-screen persona as some sort of character that he plays, and even though at the time there was real flirtation, it did not reach beyond the stage lights. Or did it? Again, we're left with more questions than answers. He plays his cards so close to the chest that we can't help but wonder, what's Craig really hiding? Another reason the rumors persist is that some of his guests, when asked about their time on The Late Late Show, have given coy responses themselves. As one frequent guest, Kristen Bell, once said in an interview, "Craig is a lot of fun on and off screen." Was she hinting at something more? Or was that just another example of how easy it is to get swept up in the whirlwind of his personality? Even though she laughed off further questions, her comment only added fuel to the fire. There is just too much said about Betty White, who had famously joked around with Craig. She has joked that the time she spent with him on the show was with a charmer, and that he was a little bit naughty. Of course, Betty has always been the queen of double entendres, but people just could not help themselves by reading between the lines. Of course, again, Craig has never given any solid details about what really went down with his famous guests, and maybe that is the most genius thing of all, just keeping us forever guessing. But perhaps most revealing was when Craig, on his farewell episode of The Late Late Show, turned to the camera and said, winking, "Some things are better left unsaid." Was that his last word on the subject? Or an arch acknowledgement that there are stories we will never know? One thing is sure, Craig Ferguson knows his secret, and the mystery that ensues from these post-show relationships, well, that's likely just to stay that way, a mystery. No matter how much we dig and speculate, the only ones ever truly knowing the reality are Craig and his guests. While it is that ambiguity that makes us want more and keep coming back, we might just never get those clear answers so wanted. Isn't that the unknown that makes these stories appealing in the first place? But do not be dismayed, we are not quite through yet. There's always more to dig up, and who knows, maybe the next bombshell is just around the corner. There you have it, then, a taste of the salacious world of rumored late-night Craig Ferguson escapades. But for all that we've uncovered, the real stories remain locked behind Craig's signature grin. Will we ever know what really happened when the cameras stopped rolling? Perhaps, perhaps not. But for sure, the intrigue isn't going anywhere. Stay tuned, kids, because there's always more to uncover in the world of late-night secrets.